Welcome to TeaLimePie, the podcast where I, a totally reasonable human being, read spooky Reddit stories with my co-host, Coffee Ghostea, who believes in ghosts and the paranormal. Each week, we take turns reading creepy tales from the internet and break them down, one of us with logic and the other with the love of all things spooky. Is any of it real? Probably not. But hey, if your lights start flickering while you're listening, that's a coincidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Our,
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Our flickery light in our bathroom finally died, so...
Oh.
I got rid of that problem. It's been flickering for months.
If it just goes out, no more flickering.
Yeah, exactly. Problem solved. Just wait for the flickery light to die.
That's perfect. I love it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I don't have any flickering lights.
No?
Well, I guess, no, that's a lie. There are some behind me. In my background, I have, like, twinkly lights.
Oh. You have permanent flickery lights.
That counts. Yeah.
Yeah.
If the lights start flickering, it's a coincidence, right? Flicker.
Or it's Stranger Things, you know.
Dude, I haven't watched the beginning of the new season yet. I'm waiting for it all to come out before I do.
That's fair. I think by the time this episode comes out, it should be all out. I'm so
New
excited.
Year's, right? Is when it...
like
the last...
Yeah, I think so. So by the time
I'm
this
so
comes
excited
out,
to watch it.
We've probably watched it already, but I'm assuming it's going to be sick.
Also,
you know that
yes.
one part, minute 5 of episode 8? Sick. So cool.
So cool. I've been, like, avoiding the internet and Stranger Things theories.
Oh my god, I don't know
so
how.
far.
I don't know how you're doing it.
I stay off the interwebs, that's how.
You gotta, like, block the word Stranger Things, I guess. Jeez.
Yeah. Except my phone's gonna hear me now and it's gonna be like, I heard you say Stranger Things.
You
Here are
want
some ads.
spoilers, yes?
Yeah.
That's exactly what you were looking for.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into these spooky stories today. The first one is called, Has Anyone Else Met Someone Who Might Not Have Been Real? It's posted on Our Paranormal Encounters by Expensive Memory 2780.
Alright.
Okay, so the title of this just reminds me of, like, the vampire lady on the plane. That's why I had to pick this story.
Can you give me a
a
ride
feeling-
home?
No! This is so good. I'm never gonna forget. Like, I have a really hard time remembering the stories that we do. Like, people will talk to me about it, like, and like, oh, that was a great story. It's like, yeah,
Yep.
it sure was.
Yep. What a doozy.
I remember everything that happened. Like, I have a hard time even remembering the ones we did for Halloween. And that was, like, a big one.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I really only remember the vampire one and what was it? Jeffrey, the gaming ghost?
Oh, yeah. Jeffrey.
Yeah. We love Jeffrey.
Our forever friend.
Yeah.
All right. Has anyone else met someone who might not have been ... real question mark? When I was about 10 years old, something happened that I still can't explain. I've never really talked about it, but curiosity has really gotten the best of me. And I'd love to know if anyone has experienced anything remotely similar. So here's my story. Let's call it Crows. Oh, it has a name.
Oh.
But if it has a name, why didn't you put it in the title?
Right. I don't know.
I grew up on a dead-end road where I spent every moment I could outside. I knew that all the neighbors, everyone was really close with each other back then. Especially me, the kind of kid who knocked on everybody's door looking for friends. I would be like, get away. Get off my property.
Restraining order against a 10-year-old.
Doug, get the hose. The child is back.
Oh my god.
Our backyard was a long hill leading down into the woods that stretched for acres. One day, while I was playing in my backyard, I noticed a girl around my age a couple feet into the trees. She had tan skin, long black hair, and wore clothes that didn't look modern. Almost like something from the past. I waved and said, "Hi!" It says H-I-I-I.
Hi!
Because I was a friendly kid. She looked terrified and sprinted into the woods. I feel like I would be too. I told my dad, and he said she was probably a neighbor, but I knew that she wasn't. I knew all the kids on the road, and wasn't a home for sale or new build or anything. He still dismissed my claims. I thought maybe he was right. Maybe she was just really shy. Still, I was too curious just to leave it alone. Who was she? The next morning, I packed a bag with snacks, crackers, and some fruit, and wrote her a note asking if this story is not real, if she wanted to be friends. That I am friendly, something along those lines. I left it where I saw her in the woods. I checked the bag several times throughout the day and yelled for her into the trees, but she never showed. I went back to check the next morning, and I was shocked to see that both the snacks and the note were gone. It was Santa! I thought about how it was a dumb plan because I had no way of knowing if an animal took it instead. Yeah. But as I got closer, I noticed there was a place with small square hand-stitched cloth, red and orange, with black crow in the center. I kept that cloth for years in my keepsake box, but since I moved, I can't seem to find it anywhere. I guess it's possible I could have misplaced it, but I have stuff in there I've kept since I was 5. I take very good care of my things, and it was so strange that that was the only thing missing, in my opinion. That night, I left another note saying thank you for the crow, and I was friendly and asked if she wanted to play. The next morning, the note and the snacks were gone, but nothing was left in return. I felt discouraged and started to walk home, but then I heard hoo-hoo from the woods. I followed the sound deep into the woods, smart, I know, and suddenly stumbled into a large clearing that I'd never seen before. It was the story is not real. It was midday and bright, so I could see everything perfectly. Toward the back of the large clearing was a tiny log cabin with fenced areas. Chicken coops, stack of wood, rocking chair by itself in the middle of the clearing, which looking back now is kind of strange. Really? I thought it might be a hunting cabin, so I started to get nervous, but then the door opened and it was her. She waved me over. I ran to the door and she pointed to her chest and said, Kieran. I quickly realized that while trying to talk with her, that English didn't seem like her first language, but we communicated the best we could. I remember her showing me a lot of crafts that she made, all made out of things you could find in the woods. I wasn't allowed in her room, and she didn't seem to want to go outside to show me chickens. She said, mainly using drawings, that she wasn't allowed to leave the clearing, and her ma and pa would be upset if they knew I was there. We drank some kind of herbal tea, I think. I remember it tasting like dirt, but I never said anything. I was polite. I don't remember our exact conversation, but when I asked where she was from, it was something like Polyjucad.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea.
That's about
That's a word.
Yeah.
I still don't know what that means. And to be honest, that might not even be what she said. It was just that it's stuck in my memories. The whole visit, especially how I got home, feels fuzzy now. The next thing I remember, I was walking through the woods while she was humming a song that I could give anything to remember the cadence to. She walked me to the woods in front of my house. I just remember waking up the next day that I don't remember going up the hill, walking in, changing clothes, getting to bed, nothing. I told my stepbrother, a couple of friends, and surprisingly they believed me, and they seemed super excited to meet her. We all wrote notes and packed snacks, hoping that she would take them, but nothing happened. After a couple days, we searched the woods and yelled, but never found the clearing. We wrote notes and tried different snacks, searched the clearing for Kieran for weeks and then months. About 2 years later, after we had given up hope of finding Kieran or the clearing again, we were playing outside when we heard the same hoo-hoo.
Yoo-hoo, big summer blowout!
Yoo-hoo! Oh no. We saw the girl in the trees before she ran. I was so happy they saw her too. I wasn't crazy. We followed the sound deep into the woods and I ended up in the clearing again. I looked over and to say "told you" to my stepbrother and friend, but this time there was no cabin, no chickens, just grass. My stepbrother and friend were suddenly gone. I felt a sense of panic as I yelled their names, and then I just remember hearing crows cawing like a crazy. Hold on. Ooh, I skipped a line. Cawing like crazy, but I never saw any. I felt so scared in the moment. It still lives with me today. The sound was overwhelming. I think I couldn't think straight. I immediately ran back the way I came. I ran for what seems like forever. I remember feeling panicked, thinking, did I go the wrong way? I didn't run this deep into the woods. Why am I not out by now? I was so scared, even thinking about it. I'm starting to shake. At the same time, those crows were still loud as ever. I never saw them, maybe because I was blinded by adrenaline and anxiety, but I ran right into my stepbrother and friend and knocked them over. Once we got our bearings, the crows stopped and they were yelling at me. They were so angry, claiming I deserted them and they didn't know where to go. I tried explaining to them that I thought they'd been behind me the whole time and they didn't listen. They thought I was messing with them and were so angry with me for running away from them, but I still am confused about how that could have happened. I was 10,000% did not remember running away from them. Why would I do that? We were all following the same noise and I could hear their footsteps with me the whole time. It just doesn't make any sense. When I got home, I was in huge trouble for scaring my stepbrother, and he made it seem like I abandoned him in the middle of the woods, crying the whole thing. But, of course, no one believed my side of the story. I was told never to go into the woods again, but to be honest, I was going back anyway. But to be honest, I was going to go back anyways. I think that they meant wasn't gonna go back.
I know, anyway. My brain broke, like, looking at that sentence, too. I'm like,
yeah. Either way, I know what I saw, what really happened. At the same time, though, I have no idea what happened. But you...
What?
Okay.
You were very descriptive.
Yeah. Several years went by. As I got older, I got more curious and confused, so I went back to where the clearing should have been, but of course there was nowhere to be found. What's strange, though, is that I heard crows in the area at the time my boyfriend didn't hear anything. It made me feel insane. Even now, for some reason, when I see a crow, I get a strange feeling like it recognizes me. I can't explain it. I'm 29 now, so almost 20 years have passed, and I still can't stop thinking about it. Kieran, the crows, the clearing that appears and disappears, the log house, the time loss / confusion. Has anybody else had something like this happen as a kid? Someone who could be real but might not have been? A place that exists but doesn't? Also, if anyone has any insight into what kind of experience this kind of experience could mean, I'd love to hear it. It was just a strange childhood encounter, a warning, a sign, or something that doesn't fit to any explanation. I still don't really know how to process it. That was a good story. That isn't this one like this subreddit one where it's like you can't post fiction? I feel like it's one of those.
Yeah, I think so.
This is not real. This is so not real.
I like believe that like trying to lure something out and like give snacks and hope something comes back and like leave a note is such a like kid thing to do. Like I believe that somebody would do that. But I don't know how you explain a whole ass house just like disappearing and showing up at will. I don't know. I don't know.
I was gonna say maybe it was fairies. You met a fairy folk and one interested in you enough to show you around their world for a bit. Quite an experience. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or it's a fake story.
Somebody else said maybe you have the ability to flit between dimensions. Dimension hopping. Let's go.
There's another story in our expanding list of stories that I want to read. That's all about that.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah. Like possible reasons why we see ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a theory that we have like a parallel dimension to us, and sometimes
I
like,
have heard
collide.
that. Yeah. I think that's
there's a whole
so
like
interesting.
Yeah. There's a whole thing I want to read about it.
Yeah,
Excited.
definitely.
Anyway, that was a fun story
Yeah.
to start off with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Not like sinister or anything like that.
Yeah, it was just a nice story.
Yeah. Although seeing the crows around and being freaked out, I probably would be too.
Yeah.
A little bit.
That would be scary.
I get freaked out by seeing them because of the movie Birds.
I've never seen it.
Oh my god.
I like crows though. When I was visiting my mom in Nova Scotia, I went through Tim Hortons drive-thru, and like right beside the car, it was myself and two of my friends, and we were sitting in the car, and I look over, and right beside the car there was this huge fucking raven.
Cool.
Like it was huge. It was massive. It was like the size of my fucking torso.
Dang.
And it was just sitting there with a I think you guys called them donut holes, the little baby donuts.
Oh yeah.
They're called
Cute.
Timbits here. It was just sitting there with one in its mouth staring at me. I was like,
Cute.
I want to keep it.
Yeah. No, the Alfred Hitchcock ruined birds. Like large birds.
Birds aren't real. Remember?
Yeah, that's true.
They're all fake.
Although even if they aren't real, they could still have been sent. Like if they're not real, the government sent them into this person's house in the movie to attack them. So it's
Yeah, 100%.
still terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's an old movie, but it holds up. That shit was scary. Do not like.
I'm gonna have to like add it to the list.
Do it.
I feel like that one and The Fog.
Oh,
I think it's called, with Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
I heard that one's one that I have to watch before I die.
Yeah, I never remember if I've seen that movie or one that just involved fog, and I assume that it's called The Fog.
Really, you were watching Silent Hill?
Yeah. Is The Fog a Stephen King story?
I think so.
Then maybe that is the one that I watched. So what I'm thinking of is there's like this town. It's kind of like Silent Hill in this aspect where like the fog comes rolling in, but there's these like creepy alien things out in the fog. So they're like holed up in this grocery store or something.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't Jeff Goldblum. What am I thinking of? The Fly? Yes, it is a Stephen King book.
The Fly. I haven't seen The Fly. I do hear that that's a crazy ass movie though.
Yeah, I heard it's like one of those you have to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only because I love Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yeah. How can you not?
Right?
It's so weird, but in a good way.
Our good friend Ping and I did a Jeff Goldblum, like, a thon not that long ago.
Oh, fun.
Great. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Alrighty. All right. Next. I have another little shorter one about the Hatman. We learned about the Hatman last time, and now another one popped up. Thought it was a sign.
Yep.
Need to read it. This one's just called Hatman by Astro Slytherin from Paranormal Encounters. My ex-boyfriend and I used to be heavy drinkers. Well, that doesn't help.
Yeah, red flag. First sentence, red flag.
I visited him during his time in college in Boulder, Colorado, where he lived with his roommate in a 2-story condo from the 1800s. After one particular night of heavy partying, we made it back to his bed to go to sleep. I woke up in the middle of the night to a dark figure standing over me. It had a top hat on and a large coat and didn't have a face, but since it was complete dark, I figured it was my boyfriend just wearing a top hat. Does he own a top hat? Like,
you know, Doug does.
Hell yeah.
And nobody should be surprised. He wore it to his high school prom.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Maybe I'll wear it in the next episode.
Yeah. Please. In the haze of being drunk and slightly irritated, I was like, babe, what are you doing? It didn't move, so I naturally flung my arm behind me and found that my boyfriend was sound asleep beside me in bed. When I realized it wasn't him, I got really creeped out, and of course, it disappeared by the time I came to the realization. Somehow, I was able to go back to sleep that night. Probably the alcohol.
What? Yeah, fair.
This was probably 10 years ago, but it still weighs on my mind. Light research has told me that several thousands of people across the world have experienced this exact entity. Furthermore, he tends to appear when people are in a state of sleep or transition. Being drunk probably helped being susceptible to seeing him too. Do you have an experience with the Hatman? What do you think he represents?
What does he represent? You're drunk.
It's interesting that she wasn't a kid, though. I feel like the other story, all the comments were talking about like kids taking Benadryl or whatever. But this was an adult, a drunk adult. So maybe the Hatman like shows up when you're in a vulnerable state. Like if you're a kid taking Benadryl, then you're sick. So the Benadryl's kind of putting you in a hazy state. And then this person was drunk and then like hazy state. Maybe the Hat Man's like, they won't know if I'm real or not due to their condition, so I'm gonna show up now and fuck them up.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
I really want to look into this Hat Man.
Yeah, same. Add it to the list.
Yeah. Okay. Number 1, Banshee. Number 2, Hat Man.
Yes.
Dope.
Exactly.
Start writing those.
Yeah. A lot more people in these comments have seen the Hat Man as well. We can save some of this stuff for those specific episodes too.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, more Hat Man. He's everywhere. Beware.
Everywhere. Beware of the Hat Man.
I really want to know if after she woke up the next day, did she ask her boyfriend if he owns a top hat?
I love that she thought it was her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like, is that something he would do?
Right.
I love it.
Crazy.
All right, our next story is called I Think My House is Haunted. It was posted in our Ghost Stories by Not Gabe.
All right, not Gabe.
It's a short one. So it says, hi, so I am 17 years old in Sweden that lives in a house from the 17th century. It belonged to a very famous privateer, Lars Gathenheimel. Gathenhelm.
Yes.
So I've lived there for 15 years, and when I was around 7 years old, I started seeing stuff. So in my room, I had a bookshelf that books randomly got thrown out onto the floor. I have a tile stove in my room. Wait.
What?
Tile stove in their room that I could hear scream. Oh, like a... Was it like a... Hold on.
Oh, like a heater?
Stove. I was thinking like a... Oh, I guess, yeah.
Like a wood stove heater or something?
Swedish tile stove is 5 flue ducts, the length of 10 meters. The smoke first. Oh, I think it's fireplace.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Oh god. A tile stove in my room that I could hear scraping from. And so much more that I have been like this since, but now it's not only me that can see it. See what? My brother and mother hear and sees. Okay, English is clearly not their first language.
Yeah.
One time when we had grandma over and everything was normal, we talked and laughed until my brother from nowhere just got quiet and says, Kiki is dead. Kiki is my grandma's best friend, and we looked at him and my parents got angry at him for saying that. Then grandma's phone rang and it was Kiki's husband that said Kiki just died. It was so weird because it's not physically possible that he would have been able to know that. And knowing it was just escalated, I can hear people in the attic walking around and talking. And I see sometimes shadows of people standing in the house, and the chandelier can sometimes swing full force. They came in like a wrecking ball. And so much more. But I would really appreciate if you want to hear more details and need some tips of how I should approach this. Huh.
Poor Kiki.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. You're the grandma sitting there and your grandkid like, your friend died.
Yeah. Oh yeah, your friend died.
What?
Well, there's a comment. I think your house is haunted. Yeah?
What? Yeah, I wonder the scraping in the I mean, if it is a fireplace with a chimney, there could just be animals in there, but...
Yeah, that was my first thought. It's an old house. It makes old noises.
That's true, too.
The only thing I find slightly weird is, Grandma, your friend died.
Yeah. I thought it was gonna end up being that Grandma's name was Kiki. I'm like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, same. I was like, oh no.
Yikes. I don't know. I'd be, a little freaked out by that. Be like, please never talk to me again.
This is when we lock that child in the attic and we never speak of him again.
Yeah.
That's what the scraping is.
Yeah.
And the footprints and it's the child in the attic. You figured it out.
There you go.
You figured it out, people.
Oh my god. Oh, excuse me. I love when
someone's diet
like,
is getting late.
Yeah. Unrelated from ghosts. I love when we read these stories and someone that's like 20 or younger is like, I lived there for 15 years. Yeah. Just,
yeah.
You grew up in the house. You can just...
So you remember 4 of them.
Yeah. It just cracks me up. I'm like, you're 17 and you've lived there for 15 years. Yes, that is your whole life.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
All right, let's read about witches.
Oh my god, this...
I'm actually excited for this one.
I'm excited, but I wish they would have, like, hit enter a few times. For anybody, I don't know if Pac will put the story up on the screen, but, like, this wall of text.
I don't see any periods either. No. Oh, there are a couple.
This format of this huge paragraph is stressing me out. But it's called The Battle of the Witches, which I just need to know.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too. By Aces Blue 99 from Ghost Stories. My grandma grew up in the South in a small country town where there wasn't really healthcare at the time and where root working, basically another word for hoodoo, but slightly different from voodoo, was very real and rampant, and it could go both ways, as in white magic and black magic. And Native Americans and African Americans were mixed in together. My grandma was mixed Native American, Cherokee, and black. Anyways, when my grandma was in high school, she not just grew up with her friend, but is still very close. Well, one day her friend meets this guy and she really likes, and he likes her, so they enter a relationship. Well, as time goes by,
oh no,
when a man and a woman really love each other. As time
this
goes,
is gonna be a story.
Yeah. As time goes by, this guy is treating my grandma. Sorry.
My grandma friend.
My grandma friend.
Oh no.
Treating my grandma's friend like crap, disrespecting her, and would hit her sometimes, come home drunk, etc. Well, my grandma would always suggest to her that he's no good and should leave him, and her friend would agree and say she's going to leave, but she never would, and just stay and cook for him, clean, etc., and dealt with it. Yeah, it's hard to get people out of those. My grandma couldn't understand because her friend wasn't the type to stick around. So one day my grandma asks her, why the hell are you putting up with that? You said you were going to leave, but you haven't. It's not like you. And the friend finally says, I do want to leave, but it's like I can't. Every time I want to, something is compelling me to stay. So my grandma tells her she thinks she knows what's going on. My grandma tells her she's going to take her to someone. So the next day, while he's away, they walk deep in the woods, walking over cow pastures, crossing creeks to this shack in the woods. The shack has circles drawn on the ground, bones hanging in trees, and other things. The lady tells them to come inside. The old lady tells them to sit down, and my grandma explains to the woman what's going on. The old woman looks at the woman and right away
I feel like this story was written by a child.
Yeah.
Like someone, baby's first attempt at storytelling.
I'm here for it though. Looks at the woman and right away she says, "You have a root on you." Root is in quotes, which means curse. She tells her that she can break the curse, and not only that, she knows who put the curse on her. She tells her when she goes home to bring some of his hair back. She tells the woman he's bald. So I thought I could get me hair clippings. Oh no. Oh no, the witch lady's like, well, fuck. Now what do I do? Oh no. So the woman tells her to bring back a piece of clothing that he had recently worn. So she cut a piece of his shirt and brings it back the next day with my grandma. The lady, I'm sorry.
What is the story? What is happening? Oh my goodness. You okay over there?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I'm just picturing such a deadpan. He's bald. Oh my god. Woo!
Oh, my jaw hurts.
Oh my god, okay. Brings her back the next day. The lady does something, says some words, and hands her the salt shaker and tells her that when she gets home to sprinkle the stuff in the salt shaker on the side of his bed, his pillow from head to toe. She goes home and does just that.
It was itching powder.
It was what?
Itching powder.
Oh, man, imagine. Well, that night she noticed that he's tossing and turning, and he kept raising up and wiping himself off because he was sweating profusely. She noticed that the spell must be working because she didn't care what he was going through in the night, so she falls asleep instead of checking on him. Hell yeah. Well, that morning when she wakes up, she hears him getting up, and the entire side of his bed is soaking wet. Gross.
Ew.
And she gasped when she looked at him because he grew an afro. Overnight. Oh no. Oh, she didn't care though. She told him she was done and started packing her things and left. What did the afro change anything? What? She goes tells my grandma what happened, and she stayed with my grandma until she can get away in town, which doesn't happen but twice a week, so she can go get her family. Oh, well, the day before it was time for what? She started telling my grandma that she now misses him and wants to go back to the old lady to tell her what's going on. The woman tells her that obviously her friend's boyfriend knows a root worker as well, and that there's only one other option to stop it and end the other root worker's spell on her permanently. She used this a lot stronger, and she used it to prove that she's stronger. So basically, both root workers know about each other due to this. Battle of the Witches, there it is. The old lady tells my grandma to go to the woods, find a twig of an oak tree, and bring it to her. So my grandma does, brings it back, and the lady does something to it, and then asks my grandma where is her friend and if she's back at the man's house. She said yes. She then tells her to take the stick to her friend's house, and while she's there, throw the stick at his feet. Take that. So my grandma makes a long walk to this guy's house, and sure enough, her friend is already there and seemed like the spell that's on her is 3 times worse because she is following him everywhere he went. Even if he stepped outside of me, she followed. Well, as soon as my grandma sees him, she whistled to get his attention, and as soon as he looked in my grandma's direction, she tossed the stick at him. When the stick fell, it landed and stood vertical, and as soon as it did, he grabbed his throat and started choking and gagging. The friend, of course, started freaking out, and as soon as he dropped to his knees, he threw up a baby snake, which recoiled around the twig on the ground. As soon as it did, my grandma stepped on it and killed the snake. The man passed out, and this time the curse was broken for good. It wasn't just about breaking a spell. It was also which root worker or witch was strongest. This happened often for many reasons because people practiced that craft in those days. Anyways, her friend left and the man became, like most did in those days, drunk. Again, this is a true story. I have another story about my grandma's brother named Uncle Tim, who had the ability to talk, communicate with fire, and other things. Hope you guys like it. Sorry for the length, but I have to tell the way they were told. The way we were told. That's bonkers.
Yeah.
I was not ready for the afro.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I liked it though.
Yeah. I feel like it was written by a 5-year-old, but
yeah. I want to know if they posted.
She lived in a town called Taylorsville, North Carolina? NC.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Yeah. I have many stories I have yet to tell. I haven't really tell them because a lot of people have asked me my stories too. /TikTok channels. Wild.
Yeah. Whoa. That was a ride, dude. I need to recover that one. Holy cow.
Get a palate cleanser in there.
Oh.
Alright, this next one is a short story, I promise.
Oh, just one last. I just find all that stuff super interesting, though. Like the voodoo and all that kind of stuff in the South is so fascinating.
I don't believe in ghosts, but I do little witchy things. I do believe in the power of manifestation and stuff like that. And yeah, hearing about stuff like the voodoo and things like the origin stories of all that is super interesting to me. Yeah. I really wanted to go to Louisiana for like a couple years ago. And but there was a hurricane that hit or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was anyway. It didn't end up happening, but I wanted to go so bad, just to like go and experience the place where it was born and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. We'll go. I haven't been there yet either.
Hell yeah!
Let's do it.
Ooh,
Hell yeah.
future plan.
Huh?
Yeah. Future plans.
Yeah. All right. Next story.
All right. I heard my name whispered from the other room while I was completely alone. Posted on Our Paranormal by Alarmed Worry 5477. This is one of those things that probably has a logical explanation, but it stuck with me. A few nights ago, I was home alone, just sitting in my bedroom scrolling on my phone. No TV on, no music, windows closed, the house was quiet. Then I heard my name. Not loud, not yelling. It sounded like a whisper coming from the hallway. Like someone trying to get my attention without being obvious. I remember freezing for seconds before it was so clear. It wasn't a noise that could be my name. It actually was my name. I got up and checked around the house right after. Every room, doors locked, no one's there. No electronics on that could have caused it. I'm not saying it was paranormal. I know the brain can do weird things, especially when you're tired. But I've never experienced anything like it before. It hasn't happened since. I'm posting here because I've seen other people mention similar experiences. Has anybody heard their name when no one was around? Yes, actually, I have. And I was half asleep.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I've told the story on here before. I was laying in a bed at my mom's house, or like in my family house.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was like almost asleep, and I heard my name, and it woke me up.
Nope.
No?
Nope. Don't like. I've never heard anything like that before. That's okay.
Well, you had that story of Alex's old roommate talking on the phone.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was freaking weird. For sure.
Yeah. I feel like that is in the same category for sure.
That's true. Yeah. We'll never understand what that was. Fucking crazy.
That's fair.
I don't know. I don't know what I'd do if I heard my name coming from the hallway. Just get up
I would just be like, what?
Close the door. No.
Ghosts can't go through doors. It's not fire.
Nope.
The little community reference.
Nope.
All right. On to the last story.
Alrighty. Last one is Haunted Hotel by Future Thinking Man in Ghost Stories. So this story is a couple of years old now, 2022. I live in South Wales, UK, and there is a hotel there, or rather there was, called Miskin Manor. It was a 4-star spa hotel I once stayed in for a conference with work, and in the morning I found that it was allegedly haunted. Local stories spoke of a gray lady in the bar where there used to be a staircase and some child-sized ghosts there. Child-sized.
Not child ghost, but child-sized ghosts.
Yeah.
Very different.
Very different. Having had no such encounter, I looked into the place more a while later to confirm some legends and even saw some videos on YouTube, some are still up, of ghost hunters. For a while, they had organized groups. We roll around 2022, and it came to my attention that the owners were struggling, and it was in partial administration. For big hotels, this tends to trigger a fire sale on rooms, so I thought I would try and book one of their bigger suites as a treat, and saw that I could get the primary bridal suite, biggest and best room, on Halloween night. Hell yeah. So my wife and I could not resist. Here on are the 3 experiences we had after learning that the only people in the building that night was a group of ghost hunters at the other end of the mansion, and my wife and I, not even any staff.
That doesn't seem right.
No, there should be somebody working there. Late in the evening, we were watching some TV, and I noticed the light come on under the door to the shared hall. The lights are motion activated, and surely enough, I saw a shadow walk past. The thing is, there were no rooms that way down the hall, just an alarmed fire exit. So I stared at the light under the door, waiting for someone to walk back, but no one did. As the light eventually went off, I jumped up and opened the door. The lights came back on and no one was there. When we went to bed, I decided to buy a chair and suitcase in... What? Just
decided to buy a chair.
Maybe
Sweet.
He meant put a chair in suitcase.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like that was an autocorrect.
I went on Amazon and I bought a chair because, you know, what I'm saying. Put a chair and suitcase in front of the 2 glass doors between the bedroom and the next room in the suite because it's in the country and the pitch dark when the light is out. So I didn't want to walk into the door in the night if I needed to head to the bathroom. With that done, we went to bed and chatted for a while before we started to hear and feel tapping and scratches on the 4-poster bed. Convinced that the other person was having fun, we both raised hands and feet above the covers and stopped. For about 10 seconds, then the noise started again and the bed shook. I got out and used the torch on my phone to look under the bed, and there was nothing there. No signs of rodents at all, and it was immaculately clean. It took us ages to find sleep after that, but eventually she and I managed it. Of course, I had to go to the bathroom in the early hours, not as young as I used to be. And sure enough, banged into the glass doors. Input on the light and the suitcase and chair were both still in the same spot, but the doors were closed. It was a fun night. What?
Oh, okay. So he kept the doors open. With a suitcase and a chair. So like one on keeping the one side of the door open. So they were like French doors, glass French doors, and he was keeping them open with a chair and a suitcase.
I thought he was trying to keep them closed, so he didn't.
Yeah, so did I.
Okay, no, that makes way more sense.
So he wouldn't walk into the glass doors, but he did. They were closed, even though nothing had been moved.
Got it. That makes way more sense. Don't know how it happened.
Yes.
But visually in my brain, that makes way more sense.
I would love to, like, go to a haunted hotel just to see.
Yeah, we should. It'd be fun.
Oh! Miskin Hotel Manor looks amazing. Something similar happened to me at a brand new hotel in Canada.
Ooh!
The room had a washroom in the hallway by the door, and then there were 2 couches, table and bed, washroom, door. Okay, but where?
Right. They don't say.
Damn it. B&B I stayed in not that long ago could have totally been haunted.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't, but it could have been.
Oh, just like
it was
the
like
look of it, or
yeah, it was a century home in like the oldest part of the city.
Okay,
very cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
Love that.
yeah. So we were on like the 4th floor.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's a century home, like, you don't have fucking elevators.
Yeah.
So I got to climb 4 flights of stairs. It was great.
Yeah, that's the not fun part.
Yeah.
Huh.
That was a good story. I liked it.
Yeah. But why
I would
wasn't
love to stay in a
there,
haunted
like...
hotel.
Well, I guess if it's not a place that has, like, a reception desk, maybe I can understand there not being anybody working.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it is more of an Airbnb.
Or it could have been, like, one receptionist and, like, no other staff, you know?
Yeah.
Like cleaning ladies or whatever.
Right. But if it is more of an Airbnb style where they just drop off your keys and then nobody's around, like, that would make sense. But
yeah.
I would have checked the hallway while the light was still on, though. Like, if you waited long enough for the light to have shut off, clearly there's not going to be anybody there. They're gone.
What? That is gorgeous.
Oh.
Sorry, I Googled pictures of it.
What was it called?
I want to live there.
Ooh.
Yeah. We'll have to put pictures up in the video.
Definitely. I've got it screen capturing, so. That is so pretty.
Yeah, right?
Definitely haunted. The place
looks
old.
I'd like to know the history of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's gorgeous.
Oh my god.
That's a pretty. Okay, I'm just... Oh, it's closed now, isn't it? Dang it.
They said there was, so... Does it not exist anymore? Oh, temporarily
Or rather, there
closed.
was. Yeah. Wah. Wah.
Dumb.
Get good.
Yeah.
Reopen.
What the heck?
So sad. All right.
Mm.
Well, those are all of our stories for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
If tonight's stories didn't convince you ghosts are real, congratulations. You're still sane.
But if your lights start flickering later, don't say we didn't warn you.
If you enjoyed yourself, subscribe, leave a review, and send us your own spooky stories. Believe it or not, we want to hear them. You can find our email in our channel bio or in the video description below. Until next time, good night.
Sleep tight. Ta-da.
Da, 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 da.
Sweet.